I'm just going to share my screen, portion of the screen. Oh, that's not what I want to look at all. Oh, best laid plans. There we go. So you should be able to see just the screen of my acknowledgement to country there. Is that what you can all see? Yeah, okay. Okay, so I'd like to start off the presentation and acknowledge and pay respects to the people of the Yugambeh language region of the Gold Coast and all their descendants, both past and present. We also acknowledge the many Aboriginal people from other regions, as well as Torres Strait and South Sea Island people who now live in the local area and have made an important contribution to the community. And I've chosen to use the Gold Coast because that, of course, is where I am at the moment. I've lived on the Gold Coast since 2002 when we migrated from the UK. And my husband comes from an Irish background. And my mother was, she's still with us, fifth generation Connacht who arrived from Ireland into the Geelong area. So we appreciate the opportunity to live in this country. So 2022, what have we been doing? It seems to have been a big year for us. We've done a lot in the last year, but I'd like to give you a bit of an overview on the last 18 months. And the key areas that we're working on is to connect, to understand, to educate, and to support. The points I'd like to cover are the 2022 goals, key achievements, financial performance, plans for growth, merchandise, webinars, training, and volunteers. Now, the Trigeminal Neuralgia Association Australia has been working in Australia for 20 years now, although it was around about 2001 that Irene Woods actually started the organisation after her mother was severely affected by trigeminal neuralgia. So she set out to discover more about what exactly was happening with trigeminal neuralgia and to educate herself, and then moved on to educate other people. And in 2003, she incorporated the charity as an Australian organisation. Before that, we were part of the Facial Pain Association in America. So what we wanted to achieve, COVID forced everyone to do things a little bit differently, kind of put us into a 2-year hiatus where we couldn't meet and we couldn't meet face to face, and we've had to do things very differently. We've had to adapt to be able to provide our services. And in that process, we've also discovered that we needed to improve our digital footprint. We were a little bit lagging behind. And the opportunities that COVID has actually provided is a new way of working for us. The acceptance of digital footprint and delivery of telehealth, counselling and connection, working away from the office, all of those things have changed dramatically. And it's given a new beginning for our organisation, which is a great opportunity for us to be able to connect better with our sufferers and our members. So this is a great quote from Oprah Winfrey. It says it quite well. So, challenges are gifts that force us to search for a new centre of gravity. Don't fight them, just find a new way to stand. We have all had to find a new way to stand. So how do we measure success? What we do know, we have to reach our audience. At the time that I took over as secretary, May 2021, our membership had actually fallen to less than 150 people. But we knew that there were way more sufferers out there that we needed to reach, and we had to evaluate how we reach those people and to reinvigorate the association to make us more visible. So we can all dream of a shiny future and new world. However, how do we actually make those changes? My background is in systems management accounting, so that's all about looking at businesses, how they do their reporting, the best way to decide good decision making within the business, profitability, ensuring employees utilise their skills in the best way. So I turned my attention within the committee to helping our organisation improve and get better information on our platform. So we now have a great website. We're active on Twitter, and we've got some merchandise going as well with our logo on. So we're covering a stubby holder, a mug, and a water bottle. So we've got all the liquid bits sorted out. So what have we done? The new website has created an opportunity for people to connect with us in a much easier way. Prior to COVID, we had a very flat website, which is typical of many organisations, which gave a lot of information. But for people to join the membership, they would need to download a form, fill out the form, scan the form, send the form, and then put money into our bank account or send a cheque, which in this day and age is a little bit cumbersome. So what we found by allowing people to come onto our website and become a member online, to choose the way that they make their membership payment. So quite understand that people sometimes don't want to make payments over the network. So you can still send a cheque, you can still direct debit into our bank account. You just choose that option when you become a member. And we partnered with a local Gold Coast business to create our key products, which is the lovely white mugs and water bottles. And we've been improving our social media presence. So with the Twitter account, that's only been in operation for about 4 months now. It's a busy platform for sure, but we're getting a lot of information from areas that it was a lot harder to find. So a lot of research information and connecting with other organisations that help people in pain. And also our post to Facebook, and Peter Goff manages our Facebook group. We've seen an increase in our membership there too. Now, obviously, we're a charity and we have to cover our operational expenses, and we try to keep those as minimal as we can. And we are always looking at ways to do things better and at a cheaper price. In previous years, we have had to be very mindful of monies that are spent, because if the membership falls below 240 members, then you're really not covering your operational costs that you need. So your Zoom licenses, insurance, newsletters, and webinar licenses. And we're all volunteers, so nobody gets paid within this charity. We just cover expenses as approved by the committee. So what do we do if we improve our membership? We obviously have a bigger responsibility. So if we have more members, we need to ensure that we're servicing our members. And the way that we are trying to do that is to provide some Zoom online support groups. We're very aware that our rural sufferers don't have access to the city-based support groups. Merchandising sales, it's a relatively new area for us, but we are looking to utilise that as an opening conversation. So if you've got a water bottle and you're out and about and somebody says, "Oh, TN, what's that?" then it starts a conversation, which is a wonderful way to try and educate people outside our community. And very, very pleasingly, we have dramatically uplifted our membership in the last 12 months to 310 active members. And this is a wonderful number, but in no way reflects the thousands of sufferers that we believe are in Australia. But trying to find that number, as I said a bit earlier, is quite tricky. And then, of course, we need to make sure that the members that we have at the moment remain members, because it is an annual subscription, and we need to make sure that we are servicing their needs and their wants. So do we know how many sufferers there are in Australia? No, not really. It is really difficult to get an exact number of sufferers. You have these various Google searches that tell us 4 in 100,000 people, but that would only equate, if you're looking at an adult population of maybe a couple of thousand people in Australia, and we are pretty sure there are more people than that, and probably a lot of people that are still undiagnosed, that are still trying to work out what the hell is happening to them. And as many of our members say, they're not believed that the pain that they're getting and where they're getting pain is real, which is shocking in, you know, a first world country, really shocking. And there are many organisations around the world working extremely hard to support sufferers of trigeminal neuralgia. And it's extremely important for us to reach out and be part of that world organisational structure. One, because we don't want to rewrite the world. We don't want to recreate new articles, new projects within our website. We want to connect to people who are doing amazing work around the world, our country, and particularly in America. And they can provide us information that isn't available in Australia. Some of it is relevant to their healthcare system, but basically the research is the research. It will help anybody, wherever they are in the world. Misdiagnosed, not being believed, lack of understanding, isolation, hopelessness, severely impacts your life, your mental health, your family connections. And it's something that we are desperately trying to mitigate for all of our sufferers. We've a very good, strong relationship with the Facial Pain Association in the USA. They have helped us out with amazing materials and stuff that they've already produced that we're able to share on our website within the members area. And how do we respond to members when they join us? So it's very important that we connect individually with people. The website automatically sends out an invoice to our new members. It sends out a welcome letter with some links to get the new member orientated around the website to see the best bit of information they could have at the beginning. But also people are important to us. So I do send out an individual email to each of our new members. And if they have requested support from a support group leader, I make sure the support group leader is aware and that they can contact them easily. Communication, training, and what our members expect of us. So we're aware that a lot of people come to our website, but in the end decide not to become a member. And that's fine too. They get the information they need on the public side of the website, and we don't necessarily hear from them again. But we want to connect with them all the same. We want to make sure that we are providing them information. So we have a new bit on the website that is connect and join our e-news digital newsletter, and it's really just a monthly digital newsletter that goes out with a few links and some tips and helpful hints for people who are suffering from trigeminal neuralgia. We understand that our volunteers need to be trained, and we need to support and invest in their training and their support. A lot of our volunteers have been working within the association now for many, many years. And sometimes they need a break too. So we need to make sure that they are looked after and their mental health is looked after too. And we need to know what our members actually want from us. So very excitingly, in the last few months, we have sent out a survey to our members. And I think to date, we had around about 70 responses from that, which is quite a good response for a survey. They are telling us what they believe that the organisation should be doing, and also how they learnt of us, and whether they've connected to support group meetings, and what they think of our offerings so far. So what are we learning? We know that in the major cities, we can reach our sufferers. They can get to a support group. We do have support groups in Mackay, Sunshine Coast, Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sydney, Adelaide, Melbourne and Hobart. We don't service Western Australia because that is looked after by the Trigeminal Neuralgia WA Association. They are part of Australia. They may not believe they are, but they are part of Australia. But they do have support groups over there. We obviously, it's a long way to one side. So we do collaborate with that organisation too. But in the regional areas, which is the bigger problem, where there is less help with healthcare, less help with getting to a neurologist, less understanding of trigeminal neuralgia, it's very tricky for our sufferers. They just don't have the ability to travel 2 or 3 hours each way to a support group. So we are working on looking at providing state Zoom support group meetings on a regular basis, maybe every quarter, that people who cannot reach a face-to-face support group can log in and be part of a community, which is the most important thing for us. Well, apart from curing TN, of course. So we know to meet our vision statement, we need to attract people to volunteer, and we also understand the reluctance of sufferers and carers to put their hand up to volunteer, because what are you volunteering for? How long are you volunteering for? What are you going to be asked to do? These are all questions that we need to evaluate as an association ourselves before we can put it out to our members and say, hey, can you help us? So we want to collaborate. We can't achieve our goals without utilising knowledge that's already freely available. We want to communicate that to get our message and support to the people that need it most. Then we of course meet in our vision. Training, we set about creating a module of training source references for our volunteers to be able to reinforce the information that they already have, and of course support all sufferers of neuralgia, of trigeminal neuralgia, and have a safe place in our community to express how they feel. So collaborating, we're using webinars. We have a very active medical advisory board, and this year we've had 2 webinars, one provided by Dr. Ben Yonker, who gave a webinar on the surgical procedures that are on offer for TN in Australia, and also on pain management and medication by Associate Professor Aaron Archewell. And both of those webinars have been very well received. We communicate using newsletters and articles on our website. You may be seeing some of my President's Musings on the website. So once a month, I put my creative forces into a little communication to connect with people. And of course, we're connecting with our sufferers through support group meetings, Facebook, Twitter, and direct contact. Connection is a key area. We can support and raise awareness. In the pipeline, a magic wand, apparently that's not available. So more support, more training, more webinars. We're working hard on a strategic plan to get an understanding of what we can and cannot do. We want to gain more volunteers, as we've previously mentioned, and continue trainings and make sure that our modules of training are relevant and up to date. Support. We have a new Lockyer Valley online support group starting. I think the first meeting is on the 11th of October, and that's going to be run by a new volunteer, Kim O'Donnell. She has background as a counsellor, and she's also a TN sufferer, so she understands exactly what all of our sufferers are feeling. And we're also creating an organisational chart, a volunteer organisational chart, to get a better understanding of what we need to do and how we're going to achieve that. And it's a lot easier for people to have a look at a chart and go, oh, look, that's a skill that I can do. Maybe I can do that for a project, not sign up for a full year or 2 years worth of volunteering, but a small project that can help us connect with people who are not connecting with us at the moment. And our key area where we have to work harder is to increase our reach to the medical and dental professionals so that we don't have these misdiagnoses and we don't have people having teeth pulled for no other reason that they're in pain. I mean, that's just not appropriate. And Helen, our Vice President, has taken on this area as one of her projects. So the charity Milestones, I mean, we have been very, very fortunate over the last couple of years. One of our Brisbane support group leader, Tony McPherson, worked extremely diligently and hard behind the scenes, networking with various organisations that were not connected with trigeminal neuralgia at that time. And he was able to he was able to get them to donate to our cause. And we have a wonderful grant of $30,000 from the Cromwell Property Trust to help us improve our digital footprint. And that has helped us with create our website and certainly our marketing process that we're going through and our various organisations or whatever that we're and apps that we're using to help get our message out. So March 2021, the association received the grant to create a digital outreach program. In November 2021, we had designed and went live with our website, which was hugely exciting. And by June 2022, we had doubled our membership. And in July 2022, we had presented 2 webinars, which was a huge accomplishment for the association. All of our recordings go onto our YouTube channel, which is hidden, it's not hidden away. You can go in and subscribe. So if you go and look for Trigeminal Neuralgia Association Australia on YouTube, you will find our channel. And although it is not heavy in content at the moment, please subscribe, hit that subscribe button. All of our webinars will have links on a website to go to, but ultimately you end up in the YouTube area where they're stored. And we're also using the new initiative of the Eventbrite platform, which you guys use today to get your free ticket to join the presentation. And that helps us as an organisation to understand who is interested and who we're connecting with. Again, we may find that we need to put links, just a normal Zoom link somewhere as well. But everything is new for us, so we're trying out different things. And certainly the year has been a year of growth, not only for the organisation, but for the people within the organisation. Certainly for myself, who 18 months ago came along to my first support meeting because my husband suffers from bilateral TN, and we had no idea, none whatsoever. We came along to the Gold Coast support group meeting and were blown away with the information that we received and a better understanding of what my husband was going to have to go through regarding his TN. And that has provided me with a year of personal growth because I've put my hand up and utilising my skills for something that I believe in very passionately. And I'm also delighted to say that we are receiving around about 14 new members per month, although this month has been astounding. We've actually had something like 23 new members. And I think that has been primarily due to the launch of our plastic wallet card this month. And also we've got our International Awareness Day on October the 7th, which is light up in teal. We're encouraging everybody to maybe put a light bulb on their porch that is in teal or have their nails coloured blue or dye their hair or maybe a moustache or something. I'm looking at Peter Fagg there who's going, no, I'm not painting my nails there. And take a picture, please, put it on the Facebook, say you've been part of International Awareness Day. We have got 11 cities who are lighting up landmarks in their city, teal, and we have got some press releases going out to alert the media in those cities with members who will be taking pictures. So you will be seeing those pictures on our website in the coming weeks. So I'd like you to meet 2 of our leaders. You're meeting me, Lynn Donnelly, current president, So as I said before, I was systems management accountant and project manager before retiring 6 years ago after having open heart surgery. At that point, I decided there was a little bit more to life than being stuck in an office for 11 hours a day. And also Helen Tyzak, who's the vice president, she suffers with trigeminal neuralgia on the left side of her face, but is currently pain-free due to medication and surgery. And she brings to our organisation direct knowledge of pain and suffering, which all of our support group leaders do, and which forced her to give up her paid employment too. But her business, education, communication and administration background has helped our organisation immensely. And she loves to do reports. I don't. So that's a wonderful mix for the organisation. So we're working through what we should offer on our Facebook group. Perhaps we can have a discussion at the end of this webinar to discuss what we'd like to see on our Facebook and our Twitter and webinar ideas for the future. As mentioned a little bit earlier at the webinar with Aaron Argewall, there was some comments about should we produce a card or a little bit of slip of paper to put people in a wallet so that if you do have to go to the emergency department to deal with breakthrough pain, that you would have something that you could provide to the medical professionals there. Now we did have a A4 page of information to be passed over, but we felt that perhaps in this day and age, everyone's got these plastic cards of membership of this and membership of that, that maybe this would be a great idea, and it's been a great success so far. So now all new members receive one of these cards as part of their membership, and they're available for sale for non-members or anyone who wants to buy them on our website for $3.75. We also had our website developer provided us with some wonderful signature banners for our emails, and she's provided us with 4. One that is talking about e-news, which is the one that you can see on screen there, so stay up to date with the latest news, click here. We have a donate one, a contact us, and a light up in teal, which we'll obviously be using over the awareness week. So now if we're contacting with outside organisations, we are looking pretty schmicko with our email communication with them. There's a quick picture of our socials. I'm sure you've all been on the Facebook side and know that quite well, but there's a quick look at the Twitter account, what it looks like, and also the YouTube. And as I've mentioned before, the light up in teal, I wanted to get all the way around Australia with the city, but unfortunately Darwin did not come to the party. I messaged them several times, but I don't know, perhaps they're a bit troppo up there. I didn't get a response from the city. Maybe next year we'll get right the way round. And I did try for Hobart as well, or Tasmania, but at that time they didn't have anything that could be lit up in teal, which is a bit disappointing. Next year, for sure. And we're also heavily involved in trying to put together some research funds that are in our name. Many years ago, we received a bequest from Sylvia Whitworth's family, and that money has remained in our trust account, waiting for an opportunity to create a research project. We are working very closely at the moment with 2 of our medical advisory board members who wish to do some research on pain medication and also on a better outcome for MVD, whether we can predict a better outcome and insurance of a pain-free outcome from MVDs. At the moment, there's around about 20% of people that having got very excited about having their MVD, they actually don't have a reduction in their pain, which is a bit devastating for everybody, not least the sufferer, but also the surgeons feel it very closely too. We're easily contactable. On our website, we have all of our details about where to contact us. If you want to use snail mail, you can use our mailing address. Our email address is members@tnaaustralia.org.au. The phone number there is my phone number, and I'm always available to anyone who wishes to contact me. We have all of our contact numbers for our support group leaders on the website, and we also have a contacts page on the website. So if you have any questions or requests, you can always add something there, and you will be responded to within a few days. And that is the end of my presentation. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say. So I will just stop sharing the screen now. And you have a few more people. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Turn your mics back on. Cameras and mics. And we can have a quick chat. So I've got Stephen, yep, you're on. Peter, Fag, you're on mute at the moment. Hello, Gisela, you are on mute and no camera at the moment. Kim, your camera's not on at the moment. And hello, Michaela.
Oh, isn't mine on then?
It is now. No, it's not on at the moment. I've got a big K for you.
Goodness gracious, I can see everybody else.
That's okay. I know you're there. It's fine.
I don't know what's up, Lynn, sorry.
That's fine. You were able to see the presentation. That was the main thing.
It was wonderful, by the way. You did well.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I've been doing a bit of practicing.
Yeah, good on you.
All right. So any questions if I work around the room? Gail, have you got any queries or questions you'd like me to answer?
I don't think so. The presentation was extremely good and yeah, very informative. So well done.
Thank you very much. I'll go to you, Nola.
Oh, thank you. No, I enjoyed that. Nice to meet other people with the same issues that I'm having. And
Yes.
there's support out there. So thank you very much for that.
That's great. Peter, off.
Oh, well done, Lynn.
Thank you. Hopefully I haven't missed anything. If I've missed anything, perhaps you can add something here.
I almost thought you were going to miss out on the card, but you didn't.
Marion?
Oh, that was really a great presentation. Thank you very much, Lynn. It makes such a difference.
Good. I'm glad everyone's enjoyed it. And Lorraine, you're a newbie to Zoom.
Yeah, I am, and yes, it was very, very well done and informative. I, as you say, I'm a new member, and one of the things that I found really helpful, because until last week I hadn't seen a neurologist. I had, but not. They hadn't identified what was going on, but I just had nowhere that I could go and find the sort of information that was provided on the 2 webinars that I watched after I joined, which was so comforting and helpful to me. So yeah, I really appreciated finding some link to be able to find out something, giving me some hope.
I'm glad about that. Thank you. I'm glad we're able to reach you.
Mm.
Stephen Beveridge. Stephen?
Oh, thank you. That was very informative.
And can I just say, it's also nice to see PowerPoint presentations that don't have stacks of information. So important. It was good. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I hope I didn't say too many ums and ahs. I know I was very conscious.
No, not at all.
No.
Michaela? You're on mute. There you go.
I'm only new, and I had a client, so I missed the first little bit of the presentation, but I've been struggling with TN for the past 18 months, and I only joined about 2 weeks ago, I think. And because I'm in Hobart, Helen is my, I don't know what you call it, my support leader for the area. And I had a great conversation with her, and it sounds like she spoke to me about some of the things you covered in the presentation. Like, I haven't seen a neurologist. I didn't know that would be helpful. So she's given me some resources so I can start going down that path
That's wonderful. Wonderful to hear.
But I'm also really keen to see how I can help, because I've got a lot of
Wonderful.
skills. So I'm
We will
interested.
certainly have a conversation with you at another time. Thank
Awesome.
you. Kim, hi Kim, you're back with your video.
Oh, can you see me now?
I can.
Oh, that's good, Lynn. I don't know what I did, but I did something.
Wonderful. And Kim is our newest support group leader, and she'll be doing her inaugural online support group on the 11th of October. So watch out for the links for that one.
Yes,
Anyone can join anywhere in the country.
definitely. It's going to be very good.
Awesome. Peter Fag, any questions or queries?
Yeah, look, I've joined up maybe a year ago now. I've actually not the typical TN, I've got post-herpetic neuralgia,
Right.
which is, it's a chronic thing. Nobody seems to know much about that. I'm on nerve painkillers each day to try and control the irritation and pain, but the neurologist and pain specialists I've been to date haven't been able to do much for me. So I thought, I know this group is not focused on this at all, but if there could be a bit of support given for sufferers of this chronic thing, which is actually probably way more common than TN itself, according to the figures.
Right, well, I might email you, Peter, and get a little bit more information around that, and we can have a further discussion.
Good idea. Yeah.
Thank you. Dennis Hambrook. No video and no mute there, so I'm not sure. You there, Dennis? No. And Janine Harrop? No, they're not there either. Gisela Hoff?
Yes,
Hello.
thank you very much for the. Hi, how are you?
I'm good,
Thank you very much. I'm
haven't got
new
the
to
camera.
this as well, and I really enjoyed your presentation. It was wonderful, and I enjoyed the two webinars that you've put up. This informative and very good. Summed up very well. I just have a question regarding the cards. I think it's a fantastic idea. I've got another chronic condition, and I've got a card for that condition as well. And will you be sending them out to all the members, or do we purchase them online?
No, you should have received, you're a member, aren't you, Gisela?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
You should have received it in the post. If you haven't received.
No, I haven't, no.
You haven't? Okay, I will send you out a replacement.
Great, otherwise I'll purchase it online, you know.
No, if you remember, you should have it. If you haven't received yours, I'll send you out a replacement. The snail.
That'd be great, thank you.
Snail mail.
Yeah, that's true, it takes a while, but that'd be great. Thank you for that. And I'm looking forward to, some of the webinars that you might put up again and all the information. So great work done. Wonderful.
Well, that's wonderful. I really have appreciated you all spending the time to join me today. And just please be aware that we are available for you, and whenever or wherever you need assistance or help, then please reach out to our network of support group leaders. Thank you all so very, very much. Oh, question?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then, before you go,
Yes.
have you got room for other questions?
Yes.
We been to the website, quite informative, significantly, I think so. Over the last 6 months, a lot has been added. Yeah, certainly. Question in terms of the gamma knife experience from members of the group, and I was given a name initially. A friend of mine had it done in Brisbane by a neurologist, neurosurgeon there. The name I was given in Sydney, the person no longer does it. And I see Dr. Yonkers does it, but I wasn't sure if there are others. And obviously we mainly want to look at someone who's got as much experience as they can get in Oz. That's always the criteria, obviously.
Well, I think
Stephen, whereabouts do you live?
We're in Newcastle, near
Right.
the hospital, in fact.
Doctor, I had it done by Dr. Yonkers, and I'd certainly recommend him as being, you know, an expert and probably an international expert with that. And I would certainly highly recommend you go with Dr. Yonkers from my own personal experience.
Thank you, Peter.
yeah.
So where does this one hang out?
Dr. Yonker.
Yes, yeah.
He's based at St Vincent's in Sydney. He used to be the RPA, but now he does it through St Vincent's Hospital. So if you look up his name, his clinic should come up, and you could sort of contact the clinic.
We have,
great.
a link
Much
page
appreciated.
on our
Thank you very
website.
much.
Dennis, we have a links page on our website that has all of our links to our medical advisory board members and other organisations. So that may help you instead of having to search on.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Lynn, for that. Much appreciated. Yep.
Oh, hello, Lynn. It's John Hicks here. Hey, just in relation to Ben Yonkers, you mentioned that there was a link to the YouTube seminars that have been given. I'm just trying to find that on the website at the moment. But
Okay, so if you go to the public area where you go to news,
okay.
click on news and then scroll down through there and you will find it. We have got a search engine as well on there that you can put Ben Yonkers, but if you're a member, if you go into the members area and go to video presentations, it's there as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No worries.
Excellent presentation, but it's good to look at it and have a recap.
Yes, yes. We've
Thank you.
done a lot this year.
Yeah.
You certainly have.
Well done, Lynn. Yeah, and thanks for your hard work too. It's really appreciated.
Thank you very much. It's not a one-man team. I don't do all of the work with all of them.
The whole team. It's good.
Yeah. The support just work extremely hard with all of our sufferers.
Well done to the whole team. It's really great.
Thank you.
Am I able to ask, anybody hear me?
Yes, sure.
Yes.
Right. Am I able to ask if anybody, last Thursday had Botox injections. I don't get it, the pain down here. I get it in the temple area and around my eye. I'm just wondering if anybody else has had experience with Botox and whether if they've had any results, how long it takes.
Yeah, Botox is a very individualistic.
I have Botox injections every 6 months.
Right.
I find between the Botox and I'm on Tegretol. I don't like the Tegretol, but between Botox and Tegretol, I'm pretty much pain-free. But it does take can be up to 2 weeks because I had Botox last week. So I'm actually waiting for it to kick back in. So I'm struggling with pain a bit. I actually find having it 6 monthly, but I think I need to cut it back to 5 monthly because that last month when it wears off.
Okay.
That's how I find it. It does take a few weeks to actually kick in and start to work.
Can we add to the story? Because at one point, I'm the spokesperson. This is the problem child. We were having the Botox 3 monthly. And by the 2 month, it was getting impossible. So then it pulled forward to 2 months, which of course doesn't concur with what the system believes it should be. So we paid the extra if needs, didn't matter. Probably within 1 or 2 weeks. It was kind of a little bit tricky because the neurologist said, well, kind of if X is good, well, 2X is going to be wonderful. And of course, 2X caused quite significant slumping on the left side. Because it's primarily mandibular, he was injecting up inside the gum. One of us didn't flinch, the other one flinched dramatically. And it certainly made improvement. progressively, so no, December last year was the last time, then we were actually able to achieve some measure of relief with acupuncture. Latterly, we've given up on that. And Michaela, Susan uses Tegretol and Lyrica because neither one or the other would control, but together there's a synergy. So a new neurologist recently who also added amitriptyline to it. Unfortunately, one of the side effects of both Tegretol and Lyrica is severe stenosis of the esophagus. So it locks up and food doesn't go down. The amitriptyline exacerbated that, such that for about 3 to 4 days, well, at least 3 days, 3 to 4 days, nothing was going down. It just gets to a point where the esophagus is locked up and then it simply comes up again. It doesn't get to the stomach, so it's not a matter of being digested, it just comes back up. And that's obviously quite a serious issue if we're having troubles keeping fluids past that stenosis. So.
Steve, it'd be interesting to, if you can, maybe sort of shoot me an email and just document a little bit of that. So that's an interesting thing for other members to know and have a bit of knowledge about, if you're comfortable with that.
You can do that. Honestly, it was crazy because the first neurologist said, oh, look, forget Lyrica, go Tegretol. The other one said, no, forget Tegretol, go Lyrica. And my background's chemistry, but I've done research in physiology way back. And we ended up looking at it ourselves. And I'm obviously very mindful of the side effects on the phone all the time. The dosage we're talking about, 75 milligram of the Lyrica, 100 milligrams of Tegretol. Although at the moment it's been upped because there has been an issue. And we think the problem is actually, it's degenerating. It's becoming worse over time. Right. Thus and thank you, Peter, for your comment about Dr. Jonkers as well, in terms of the gamma knife, because we're really seriously chasing that up right now. Yes,
my husband has had gamma knife on both sides because he was getting something like, I don't know, 200 strikes a day on both sides of his face. So they were not good. So he had gamma knife last July on his right side, and then in November on his left side. Now, what it's done for him, he has got some numbness on his left side, but he's managing that. So it sort of stops, the numbness stops at halfway through the face there on that side, or that side, should I say. But he now is receiving, so he gets maybe 2 or 3 attacks in a day, which are much less intense and much less painful. And he's on.
My wife's are mainly triggered by eating. You can imagine how much weight she has lost over the last 6 months.
People say that's good, and I say, no, it's not for me, because I've always been slight.
It's a hard thing to cope with. TN is just a monster. It really is. But we will get there. We will tame this. We will try and help every sufferer. And just to feel connection, to feel that there's part of a community that you can join and have a conversation with.
I think the TN is very different between people, and so is the reaction to the medication. I've been on triptyline since 2018, and just recently in the last month been put on Lyrica with no side effects whatsoever except for dry mouth. And we're still trialing the Lyrica, running up to 50 milligrams at night with 50 milligrams of amitriptyline and 125 milligram Lyrica in the morning. So we're starting to dull the headaches. I don't think the eye pressure, it feels like my eyeball's swollen, and it's not. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't think that'll ever go away, but it's just to try and contain the headaches, which I get 24/7. So I'm hoping to get to a point where I can up the Lyrica to maybe 75. I'm going through my doctor, and then 50 in the morning. And I've got, like I said, no side effects except for dryness. And at night time I sleep like a log. I hit the pillow, I'm out. And that's probably the amitriptyline, but I don't mind because then I don't have headaches.
That's the thing, is but that's quite a low dosage of Lyrica anyway, so you probably got some.
I've only been on it 3 weeks, so we've got some upping to do before we hit what we've got to get to.
Not that I'm telling you to up your medication without
Yeah, the amitriptyline has two effects. One is it does help you sleep at night and deal with the pain, and the other, it acts as a catalyst to help the Tegretol and the Lyrica work together.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm finding it better now having the two together, because I think at one point the amitriptyline was working and then it started weaning off, where I needed to get that extra one in there to get control of it again. But you know, about 2 years to find someone who believed me. I was having the pain in the eye socket and I was having the headaches, because I just said, well, we can't find anything wrong. So that's the problem.
No,
So we might just, I don't want to sort of end up, I hate to do this to everyone, but I don't want to end up sort of just having a conversation about everyone's individual.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm happy to hear, and it's very appropriate as you talk and get some advice, and it just shows the power of a support group. So
I feel very lucky after hearing some of the other stories. Mine's nowhere near that bad, so I really
minimize just because yours isn't perceptually worse or on a layer to other people. I think it's important that every sufferer looks at their own situation and doesn't minimize their suffering and their pain, because that is your life. That's what you have to deal with.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, you do.
It's a matter of everyone take on the information and select the ones that suit them, or go with what type of TN that they have, because everybody's going to have something different. So it's like someone telling you something, you take out the important bits of information, don't worry about the other bits.
Yeah. And I'm interested if any of you have some ideas on articles that we're missing on our website, or I know one of our members has talked about we ought to have more focus on our carers. So like Stephen, that you're caring for Susan, and also John with Marion and stuff. And I'm the carer for Patrick. And it's quite tricky if you're not suffering yourself from TN, but you're in an environment where you're supporting somebody who is in pain every day. It's quite a tricky path to follow, because you don't want to trivialize, oh, how are you today? You know, you've got to be present in how are you today? You know,
it's sometimes hard for the carer to understand about how much pain you're actually in.
Yes.
And when you try to describe it, they don't always understand that it's as bad as what you're saying it is, because it's not like something they can see. So, you know, they that's what I find.
I think you might kind of like attribute this similar to what a man thinks giving birth might feel like.
Yep.
And maybe you have one of those machines that go, put your finger on this, or, you know, put your face on this, and this is what it feels like. Perhaps that's what we need.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Or they could also do the electric fence. And like we have a property, so we've got an electric fence around the bottom, and I always think of that, and I think, oh my gosh, that's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah,
like an electric shock to my face.
I say cattle prod to the face.
Yes. Patrick says driven in hard.
Then what you say about the support carer is so true, because I know when I was really bad, and, you know, I could see that John was suffering with me, you know, so he does suffer with it too. Yes. So, yeah.
Because your life is managed entirely by that. Like, you know, you can't say, oh, we'll go to this party. We go, well, we'll try for that party, but we'll see how my partner is, and my husband. It's not an easy path to follow, and if your family and associates have no real understanding, which many don't, they have no idea what TN is and the effect it has on your family. So it's quite tricky to provide education to them and keep them within your support group, so that they don't feel, oh, there's no point in inviting them because they won't come.
Yeah, I was going to say some information on like the problem that I have is my pain is really well managed by the medication and by the Botox, but it's the side effects of the medication that I struggle with so much. Like, you know, I used to be a up at dawn kind of person. Now I'm dragging myself out of bed at 7 o'clock. And because I've got a young, well, my kids are, one's about to turn 18, the other's 15. And the thing that they don't get is I'm no longer in pain, but I'm dragging the chain. I'm not bouncing around like I used to. I struggle so much. I was the person onto everything. There's a school excursion, the notes done, the money's, you know, so organized, and I'm dropping the ball.
I think what you probably need to say, Michaela, to your support group is, yes, you don't have pain, but you are still in the throes of TN.
Yeah,
that's it. Because you're medicated for the pain, and the medication creates all sorts of other layers of complexity to your life.
And that's what my family and those around me like don't get. They don't understand. It's like, but you're not in pain. It's like, I'm not in pain, but I struggle with this. And so if it was something to give people like that to go, you know, this is what's going on.
Right.
That from my point of view.
Michaela, relevant to that, there's also recent work which is regarding that pain as an inflammation. And what they're saying is, and I didn't pursue the research paper particularly, but basically it was leading to damage in the brain. Yes, it's retrievable and you can resuscitate it, but it is causing damage to the tissue because it's effectively an inflammation. So it is impacting on the capacity of the cells to fire in the normal way because of the pain, thus the inflammation. So it is a significant link. It really is.
Yeah, I read a similar research paper on that, and they're pretty much, if you're left in pain, your memory, one of the areas is memory loss, and it's affecting your hyper whatever it is in the brain. Sorry, I'm not very medical. And that is reduced. The ability to retain information is reduced because of the pain. And yes, you're right. When it's a bit like, you know, stop drinking alcohol and all that sort of stuff, your brain sort of can regenerate. But for the sufferer who can't remember that you just told them something and you go, I don't remember you saying that, or half an hour ago you told them something and it's gone, and it feels like not only have you got TN, but maybe you've got onset dementia too. Oh, let's have some of that too.
I say my filing system's not as good as it used to be.
I think I've mentioned to Patrick, he's mentioned something on Netflix, because Netflix is our friend in the afternoon, and he'll comment on a series each time. And I went, I think there's about 8 series of that beforehand. He goes, oh, I haven't watched that. There's 8 series of that beforehand. Must get onto that.
Yeah, that was the one comfort I had from the recent MRI, that I was told that it was quite good, because I was quite worried that I had early stage dementia, but I've been assured that the brain scan is quite good. So it was a great comfort to have that reassurance, because I mean, I couldn't take Tegretol at all. I took it for 3 doses and I just had to get off it. And I do take Lyrica. It makes me absolutely zombified. I hate it, and I'm on Cymbalta. So, and it's just horrible having this feeling that you can't move and talk and do things at the pace you used to. It's just,
and there lies that difficulty. It's like pain versus medication.
Yeah.
No pain, but I feel like a zombie. And you know, that is, you know, people say, well, I've sorted you, but no, you haven't, because the offset of the pain shouldn't be that you feel like a zombie.
No.
It's horrible.
I take Lyrica, but I find it does make me a little bit tired. It sort of slows me down a little bit, but I still try and get up and go. Yeah, my main thing with the Lyrica is I've since I've been taking it, I now have a balance issue. and I never know when it's going to happen. So I don't like to be on my own too much where if I'm walking where I can't hang on to something just in case, because I don't know when it's going to happen.
And if you've been taking medication for TN for some time, it can have an effect on your bone structures as well. So if you've been taking medication for longer than 3 years, you also need to speak to your doctors about management of osteoporosis.
I do have osteoporosis, but that was diagnosed before I got the TN. I actually have a Prolia injection every 6 months.
Good. Good.
So, and that's actually improving the osteoporosis. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've had an hour, and I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to everybody. I'm glad.
Been great, really has.
I'm glad you enjoyed the presentation, and let's meet up soon.
Thank you very much.
Quick question, Lynn.
Yeah, sorry. Who had that question?
I just wonder if has any research been done into the amount of exercise you can do when you're suffering?
Exercise is very, very good, providing you can manage exercise while you're suffering. So any movement is good.
Right.
What the research is saying about exercise is it releases endorphins into your system and picks up your mental health and improves your mental health and your ability to cope with it.
Because I find I've been on carbamazepine and just I find that I'm getting very lose my balance very, very quickly. And I thought, well, I'm only just listening to other people's comments here just now, and I can see, there's a couple of people there also affected, but yet they're not on carbamazepine, you see. So
yeah, I think it's a common thing through all of these medications that can create these side effects.
Yeah.
For exercise, for the safety, it's sort of to ensure that you find an exercise or an activity that you enjoy and that you can do safely. Whether that's, I mean, like my husband is a surfer. He said he would rather just not be around than not surf. So he hasn't increased his medication because that allows him then to drive. He would rather have he would cope with a certain amount of pain than not be able to drive. Because if he can't get to the sea and he can't get in the water, then his mental health and his depression state is greatly affected.
Yeah.
I always say that he is this unwell man that I know, but you really got to find something that is enjoyable for yourself, that you can do in a safe way, and that you have access to. It's very difficult for me to say, oh, we'll go swimming or go and do this and go and do that. It's all really relevant to where you are on your medication, what you feel capable of. And the thing is, pacing, it's right about what's the best time of day for you. Like for Patrick, he's better in the morning. By 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it's like it's feet up, rest, and just let the day go past, because he's done some stuff in the morning. Medication has that effect where it sort of like drags you down, and then it's fine. I go, okay, well, that's good. You haven't got to go to work. You're retired. You can sit and watch Netflix. It's fine.
Can I just make sure that Michaela's okay? Because you were very upset, Michaela, when I saw you talking just before. Are you okay?
Oh, no, I wasn't upset.
Oh, okay.
No.
Just making sure.
No, thank you.
That's okay.
All right,
Okay,
ladies and
thank you,
gentlemen, I will call it a day now, and thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciated your company.
Thank you,
Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. It was wonderful.
Thanks,
Thank
Lynn.
you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Lynn.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.